Top 25 Aviation Academy Interview Questions and Answers. Getting into an Aviation Academy is an important step for anyone who dreams of becoming a pilot, cabin crew member, aviation manager, aircraft maintenance professional, or airport operations specialist. The interview is not only about your marks or your interest in planes. The Academy wants to know your communication skills, discipline, confidence, teamwork, safety awareness, and ability to handle pressure. In this guide, you will find 25 Aviation Academy interview questions with strong sample answers. These answers will help you sound prepared, professional, and serious about building a successful career in the aviation industry. 1. Tell us about yourself. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. My name is your name, and I am passionate about building a career in aviation. I have always been interested in how airports, aircraft, pilots, cabin crew, and ground teams work together to make air travel safe and efficient. I consider myself disciplined, hardworking, and eager to learn. I enjoy working with people, following procedures, and improving myself every day. I believe aviation is a field where responsibility, communication, and professionalism matter, and I am ready to develop those qualities through this academy. 2. Why do you want to join this Aviation Academy? I want to join this Aviation Academy because I believe proper training is the foundation of a successful aviation career. Aviation is a highly professional industry where skills, safety, discipline, and confidence are extremely important. I want to learn from experienced instructors, understand aviation standards, and develop the right practical knowledge. This academy can help me build a strong base and prepare me for real industry challenges. I am not looking for just a certificate. I want proper guidance, training, and personal growth to become a responsible aviation professional. 3. Why are you interested in the aviation field? I am interested in aviation because it is a dynamic, disciplined, and globally connected industry. I like the way aviation combines technology, teamwork, customer service, safety, and problem solving. Every role in aviation carries responsibility, whether it is a pilot, cabin crew member, engineer, or airport staff. I also admire the professionalism and international standards followed in this industry. Aviation gives a person the chance to grow, meet different people, and work in a challenging environment. That is why I see aviation as a meaningful and exciting career path. 4. What do you know about the aviation industry? The aviation industry includes airlines, airports, aircraft maintenance, ground handling, air traffic control, cargo operations, safety management, and customer service. It is one of the most important industries in the world because it connects people, businesses, and countries. Aviation is also highly regulated, which means safety rules and procedures must be followed very carefully. Teamwork is essential because many departments work together to complete one successful flight. I understand that aviation is not just about flying. It is about discipline, coordination, safety, and delivering a reliable travel experience. 5. What are your strengths? My main strengths are discipline, communication, patience, and willingness to learn. I believe discipline is very important in aviation because even small mistakes can create serious problems. I also try to communicate clearly and respectfully with others, which helps in teamwork and customer service. I am patient when learning new things and do not give up easily when something is difficult. Another strength is that I take responsibilities seriously. If I am given a task, I try to complete it properly and on time with full attention. 6. What is your weakness? One weakness I am working on is that sometimes I spend too much time trying to make my work perfect. While this shows that I care about quality, I understand that in aviation, time management is also very important, so I am learning to balance accuracy with efficiency. I now try to plan my tasks, set priorities, and complete work within a proper time frame. I believe self-improvement is important, and I am actively working on becoming more confident, organized, and practical in my approach. 7. Why should we select you for this academy? You should select me because I am serious about aviation and ready to work hard for this career. I understand that aviation training requires discipline, focus, punctuality, and a professional attitude. I am not joining just because the field looks attractive. I genuinely want to learn the responsibilities behind it. I am willing to follow instructions, accept feedback, improve my skills, and represent the academy positively. I believe my dedication, respect for safety, and eagerness to learn make me a strong candidate for this Aviation Academy. 8. What qualities are important for a career in aviation? Important qualities for a career in aviation include discipline, punctuality, communication skills, teamwork, confidence, safety awareness, and emotional control. Aviation professionals must follow procedures carefully and remain calm under pressure. They should be able to communicate clearly with passengers, colleagues, instructors, and supervisors. Teamwork is also essential because aviation depends on coordination between many departments. A positive attitude and willingness to learn are equally important. I believe aviation requires both technical knowledge and professional behavior, and I am ready to develop these qualities through proper training. 9. How do you handle pressure? I handle pressure by staying calm, organizing my thoughts, and focusing on the task instead of panicking. I believe pressure becomes easier to manage when a person follows procedures and avoids emotional reactions. In aviation, pressure can happen during delays, emergencies, exams, customer issues, or operational problems. My approach is to listen carefully, understand the situation, and take one step at a time. I also believe preparation reduces pressure. If I am well trained and disciplined, I can respond more confidently in challenging situations. 10. How important is safety in aviation? Safety is the most important part of aviation. Every decision in aviation must be made with safety as the first priority. Whether it is flying an aircraft, assisting passengers, maintaining equipment, or working at an airport, safety procedures must never be ignored. Aviation has strict rules because even small mistakes can affect many people. I understand that safety is not only the responsibility of pilots or engineers. Every aviation professional must contribute to a safe environment. That is why I am prepared to follow rules carefully. 11. How do you manage teamwork? I manage teamwork by respecting others, listening carefully, communicating clearly, and focusing on the common goal. In aviation, no one works alone. A successful flight depends on pilots, cabin crew, engineers, ground staff, air traffic controllers, and airport teams working together. I believe teamwork requires patience and responsibility. If there is a disagreement, I try to stay professional and focus on solving the problem. I am also willing to help others when needed. Good teamwork improves safety, efficiency, and the overall experience for passengers. 12. What would you do if you made a mistake during training? If I made a mistake during training, I would accept it honestly and learn from it. I would not try to hide it because aviation is a field where honesty and safety are very important. First, I would inform my instructor or supervisor if the mistake affected the task. Then I would ask for guidance, understand what went wrong, and take steps to avoid repeating it. Mistakes during training can become learning opportunities if handled responsibly. I believe accountability is a key part of professionalism. 13. How do you deal with criticism or feedback? I deal with criticism positively because feedback helps me improve. In aviation training, instructors may correct mistakes, point out weak areas, or ask for better performance. I do not take feedback personally. Instead, I try to understand the purpose behind it. If someone gives me advice, I listen carefully, ask questions if needed, and apply it in my next attempt. I believe a person who wants to grow must be open to correction. Aviation requires continuous learning, so feedback is very valuable. 14. What is your career goal in aviation? My career goal is to build a stable and successful future in the aviation industry. I want to gain strong knowledge, complete professional training, and develop the skills required for my chosen aviation role. In the long term, I would like to work with a reputable airline, airport, or aviation organization where I can grow and contribute responsibly. I also want to keep improving myself through experience and further learning. My goal is not only to get a job, but to become a respected aviation professional. 15. How would you handle an angry passenger or customer? I would handle an angry passenger or customer with patience, respect, and calm communication. First, I would listen carefully without interrupting because sometimes people become upset when they feel ignored. Then I would apologize politely for the inconvenience, even if the problem was not directly my fault. After that, I would explain the situation clearly and offer a possible solution according to the rules. I would not argue or react emotionally. In aviation, customer service must remain professional, especially during stressful travel situations. 16. Are you comfortable following strict rules and procedures? Yes, I am comfortable following strict rules and procedures because I understand that aviation depends on discipline and standard operating procedures. Rules are not there to create difficulty. They exist to protect passengers, crew, staff, and aircraft. I believe a professional person must follow instructions even when no one is watching. Aviation is not a field where shortcuts are acceptable. I am ready to learn the Academy's rules, respect the training system, and develop the habit of working with accuracy, responsibility, and professionalism. 17. What does professionalism mean to you? Professionalism means behaving responsibly, respectfully, and consistently in every situation. In aviation, professionalism includes punctuality, proper grooming, clear communication, discipline, teamwork, and respect for safety procedures. It also means staying calm under pressure and representing your organization in a positive way. A professional person does not make excuses, blame others, or act carelessly. They take their duties seriously and keep improving their skills. To me, professionalism is not only about appearance, it is about attitude, responsibility, and the way a person handles challenges. 18. How do you manage your time? I manage my time by planning my tasks, setting priorities, and avoiding last-minute preparation. I understand that aviation training requires punctuality and consistency. Being late or unprepared can affect learning and discipline. I try to keep a schedule, complete important tasks first, and review my work before deadlines. If I have multiple responsibilities, I divide them into smaller steps. Time management is especially important in aviation because flights, operations, and procedures depend on timing. I am ready to improve this skill further. 19. What would you do if you disagreed with an instructor or senior? If I disagreed with an instructor or senior, I would remain respectful and professional. I would first listen carefully, because they may have more experience and a better understanding of the situation. If I still had a concern, I would ask politely for clarification instead of arguing. In aviation, respect for hierarchy and communication is very important. However, if the issue involves safety, I would raise my concern in the proper way. My goal would be to learn, understand, and maintain professionalism. 19. What would you do if you disagreed with an instructor or senior? If I disagreed with an instructor or senior, I would remain respectful and professional. I would first listen carefully because they may have more experience and a better understanding of the situation. If I still had a concern, I would ask politely for clarification instead of arguing. In aviation, respect for hierarchy and communication is very important. However, if the issue involves safety, I would raise my concern in the proper way. My goal would be to learn, understand, and maintain professionalism. 20. How will you handle long training hours or a challenging schedule? I will handle long training hours or a challenging schedule with discipline, preparation, and a positive mindset. I understand that aviation training can be demanding because the industry itself requires focus and commitment. I would make sure to manage my sleep, study time, meals, and personal routine properly. I would also stay mentally prepared for hard work and continuous learning. Challenges are part of professional growth. If I truly want a career in aviation, I must be ready to adjust and remain consistent. 21. What do you know about customer service in aviation? Customer service in aviation means helping passengers feel safe, respected, informed, and comfortable throughout their travel experience. It includes greeting passengers politely, answering questions, handling complaints, assisting during delays, and providing support when someone is confused or stressed. Aviation customer service requires patience because travelers may be tired, anxious, or upset. It also requires clear communication and problem solving. I understand that good customer service can improve an airline or airport's reputation. It is about professionalism, empathy, and following company procedures. 22. How do you stay motivated? I stay motivated by remembering my long-term goal and why I chose aviation. Whenever training becomes difficult, I remind myself that every skill I learn will help me become a better professional. I also stay motivated by setting small goals, such as improving communication, learning new terms, or performing better in practical training. I believe motivation should be supported by discipline, because feelings can change, but discipline keeps a person moving forward. My interest in aviation gives me strong energy to keep improving. 23. What would you do in an emergency situation? In an emergency situation, I would try to stay calm, follow instructions, and act according to training and procedures. Aviation emergencies require quick thinking, but they also require discipline. Panicking can make the situation worse. If I am under the supervision of an instructor or senior, I would listen carefully and support the team. If passengers or others are involved, I would communicate clearly and help maintain order. I understand that emergency handling is a serious skill, and I am ready to learn it properly. 24. What makes you different from other candidates? What makes me different is my serious attitude toward aviation and my willingness to improve. I am not expecting aviation training to be easy or glamorous all the time. I understand that it requires hard work, discipline, and responsibility. I am ready to accept feedback, follow procedures, and stay consistent even when training becomes challenging. I also believe my communication skills, patience, and respect for teamwork will help me succeed. I want to represent this academy with professionalism and dedication. 25. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, thank you. I would like to ask what qualities you expect the best students in this academy to develop during training. I would also like to know how students are evaluated and what practical skills are most important for success in the aviation industry. I believe asking these questions will help me understand the academy's expectations better and prepare myself properly. I am serious about learning, so I want to know how I can make the most of this training opportunity. Preparing for an Aviation Academy interview is about more than memorizing answers. You need to show that you understand the seriousness of the aviation industry. The Academy wants students who are disciplined, confident, respectful, safety-minded, and ready to learn. When answering interview questions, speak clearly, stay professional, and connect your answers to aviation values like teamwork, punctuality, customer service, and responsibility. Do not try to sound perfect. Try to sound honest and prepared. With the right mindset and practice, you can make a strong impression and begin your aviation journey with confidence.